لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. طيب يا إخوان, لا إله إلا الله has two pillars. What are they? La ilaha illallah has two pillars. What are they? Affirmation and negation. So, La ilaha illallah, which is affirmation and which is negation? And? No, La ilaha illallah, which one is negation, which one is affirmation?
La ilaha is negation and
illallah. Affirmation. Okay, Allah said, وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِشَيْئًا.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, actually, in 15 minutes, because the maktab, they're going to go, then I can put it on the show.
Okay, so وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِشَيْئًا. Where is the negation affirmation? وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِشَيْئًا. Worship Allah alone, do not associate anything with Him.
Affirmation would be worship Allah alone.
Yeah, mashallah. So that's, you have many verses in the Quran, you have affirmation and negation. They come together. If someone want to become Muslim, akhi, and he says, La ilaha, is that enough? What if he says, illallah? Only illallah.
No.
So you need both, yeah. Negation, affirmation. طيب. The story of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Who remembers the three brothers? One. No? It's Nahur. Then who? Oh no. Oh no. يا أخي. Nahur. بعد Nahur من? Then the ثلاثة إخوة. Nahur. ثم
رسول الله.
لا. No, which? Ibrahim. Ibrahim then? Haran. Okay, who is the father of Lut alayhi salam? From those three?
Was it Haran?
Haran, yeah, Haran. The father of Lut. Ibn Kathir mentioned this, yeah. طيب, last question inshallah. Ibrahim alayhi salam, we say Khalil of Allah. Musa alayhi salam, Kalimullah. And Muhammad sallallahu alayhi Habibullah. Is that right?
No.
Why?
Because Habib is lower than Khalil.
So?
So because of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's the best of mankind, best of prophets. So obviously it should be, but it's lower than the
Khalil, yeah. So he's the Khalil of Allah. What's the evidence? Do you remember Muhammad sallallahu alayhi Khalil of Allah? Hadith. Yeah. No. Those who know want to put their hand up. What's the hadith that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi Khalil of Allah? No? No? Okay, go on.
Allah has taken me as a Khalil as He has took Ibrahim as a Khalil.
Okay, Allah has taken me as a Khalil as He took Ibrahim as a Khalil. طيب. So we can say Rasulullah Habib because he falls under general ayah. Inna Allah yuhibbu at-tawabin wa yuhibbu al-mutatahhirin. That's a general ayah. Prophet fall into that, but he has another daraja that's higher than everything, which is a Khalil. Yeah. So. Yeah, we have to say. So Ibn al-Qayyim even mentioned that to say that is batil. Ibrahim is Khalil, Musa Kalim, and Prophet Habib. That's wrong. Last one is wrong because you have to say Khalil as well. So we say Muhammad is Khalil of Allah, Ibrahim is Khalilullah, and Musa alayhi salam is Kalimullah. Yeah. طيب inshallah. Let's start. Now we're gonna go to the Shahada of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. طيب دليل شهادة أن محمد رسول الله قوله تعالى لقد جاءكم رسول من أنفسكم عزيز عليه ما عنتم حريص عليكم بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم. Now that's the evidence of Shahada Muhammad Rasulullah. Now this ayah is describing the Prophet of Allah Azza wa Jal, his characteristic. Verily there has come to you a messenger from among yourself. It is he grieves himself that you should receive an injury or hardship. He is exhausted over you. طيب, let's explain this ayah. First of all, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. The ulama said, verily the Prophet has come to you among yourself. This anfusikum, they say that from your tribe, who speak same language as you, okay, from your own people. Quraysh, the Arab, he came from yourself, okay. That's one characteristic. So he's not somebody non-human being, somebody other than human being. It's from you. He's given birth to. Someone gave birth to him. Okay, he had a father, he had a mother. Okay, so he's human being like us. Like in the Hadith, Prophet said that inni min nikah walastu min sifah. That I am from nikah, meaning I am given birth but through marriage. So his mom and dad got married and they had a child, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not through sifah. Sifah is adultery. Okay, so Allah described him as pure. Somebody is pure. طيب.
Sifah with the sin.
Sin, sifah, yeah. طيب, so he's from the Arab. He's from the Arab, from the themselves, who speaks Arabic, you know. Then that's one characteristic of Prophet ﷺ. Also, he's from that tribe of Quraysh, and from Quraysh Hashim. Now in the Hadith of Prophet ﷺ, he said that وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله إن الله عز وجل اصطفى كنانة من بني إسماعيل. That Allah has chosen Kinana from the children of Ismail. Kinana is the 13th grandfather of Prophet ﷺ. You know, if you go back, he's the 13th of them, Kinana. وَإِسْتَفَى مِنْ كِنَانَ بَنِي قُرَيْشِ. And from Kinana he chosen Quraysh. وَإِسْتَفَى مِنْ قُرَيْشِ Bani Hashim. And from Quraysh he chosen Bani Hashim, the virtue of it. And وَإِسْتَفَانِ مِنْ Hashimi. And Allah chosen from Hashim, chosen me. So that's the fadl of all of them. This is how it comes. So Prophet ﷺ, Ibn Qayyim talks about the grandfathers of Prophet ﷺ. It's a lot. It's a long chain. And Kinana is the 13th of them. Yeah, if you go back, 13th of them. So Prophet ﷺ was from noble tribe. Then Allah describes him Azizun alayhi ma anittum. Azza alaykum. Yani he feels compassionate. He feels sorrow for your difficulties. Okay? He feels he was sent as a وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. I haven't sent you except mercy for the mankind. Abdul Karim. I don't know. I haven't sent you except for the merciful for the mankind, for alamin, actually creation. I have sent you nothing but the mercy for the creations. Okay, so he was most merciful, even to the animals. You know, the narration says that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is very powerful. The narration says that Prophet ﷺ, when he used to give khutbah, he used to stand on this tree. And then the carpenter made him a mimbar. Okay? So he moved from the tree to the mimbar. The tree cried. Felt sorrow. Subhanallah. You know? So he was merciful to the creation. Alameen, creation, not only human being, for the creation. عزيز عليه ما عنتم. So he person feel sorrow for the one who goes through difficulties. Okay, that's the second one. The next Prophet, Allah described him to be harisun alaykum bil mu'mineen. So with the mu'min, he's haris. Okay, he want good, he want khair for them. He want people to be guided by him. Okay, he want his ummah to be guided. Okay, even his uncle Prophet Abu Talib, he want him to be guided, especially for the believers. He wanted khair. So that's harisun alaykum bil mu'mineen, that he wanted khair for the believers. In another verse Allah said, لَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ عَلَى نَفْسِكَ أَلَّا يَكُونُوا مُؤْمِنِينَ. That لَعَلَّكَ بَاخٍ, which means you want to kill yourself, Muhammad. Okay, you want to kill yourself so they become a believer, because they don't become a believer, something like that in the translation. Because they don't become believers, you want to kill yourself. Because you want khair for them, but they're not accepting you. You want them to come to Islam. You want them to become Muslims. Because they're not coming to Islam, they're not submitting to Allah Azza wa Jal, you want to kill yourself. Allah describing him to be like this. That's how much you want people to be guided. Okay? Harisun alaykum, you want khair, always. I think this sign of the believers, isn't it? That everybody wants khair for the believers. When you want to give nasiha to your brother, because you want khair for him, isn't it? A believer is a mirror to another believer. Okay, and we mentioned this in Arba'in, that when you advise your brother, advise him secretly, not openly. Okay? And not to reprimand him, not to expose him, not to belittle him in front of the people. Advice should be done hiddenly. So, Muslim is a mirror to another Muslim. So, Prophet wanted khair, we want khair for the believer as well. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. None of you truly believe until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. Okay? That's the sign of a believer. Okay? That's a sign of a believer. Also sign of the believer that he doesn't have a hasad for his brother. Hasad is that, this is the hasad Allah mentioned in the Quran, the evil of the envy. Or to the one who is jealous. In Hadith of Prophet. Okay? Hasad is major sin, plus it is haram. But then the hasad is somebody has envy for a brother, but he says, I wish Allah remove that from him as well and just give it to me. That's haram. Okay? But then there's another one, envy, but he calls which is envy, but you want khair for him. You don't want Allah to remove the barakah from him, but you want yourself as well. Okay? I forgot the word of the Arabic word now. So, ghibta, that's it. Ghibta means that is envy, but you want good for him, and you want for yourself as well. You don't want Allah to remove that from him. That's ghibta. But the hasad is you want Allah to remove the barakah from that person, and you want it for yourself, and that's haram. So to have that hasad is you don't want good for your brother. That's no sign of iman. The Prophet ﷺ wanted good for human being. He is haris. Bil mu'minina ra'ufur rahim, and he's ra'uf and he's rahim. Now the ulama says Ra'ufur Rahim, both name a name of Allah Azza wa Jal. But Ra'uf also Allah describes for His messenger, and Rahim is also described for His messenger. They both mean merciful, but Ra'uf is a'la min Rahim. It is higher in daraja in terms of mercy. Okay? So Ra'uf is higher than Rahim. So Ra'uf means merciful, but more merciful. Like Mahabba and Khalil, something like that. Khalil means Mahabba is higher than Mahabba, yeah. So this ayah is a testification of Shahada Muhammad Rasulullah, because this ayah talks about the description of the Prophet ﷺ, his characteristic towards the people. This is what Allah described him to be. The meaning of Shahada Muhammad Rasulullah, Shaykhul-Islam brings it here now. He says, we covered it, we'll just go over it again inshallah. وهو الطاعة فيما أمر وتصديقه فيما أخبر واجتناب ما نهى والزجر وألا يعبد إلا بما شرع. that Shahada Muhammadur Rasulullah means to obey everything that he said. Okay? To follow, obey everything he commanded. And Allah said, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا لِيُطَاعَ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. Allah said that we haven't sent Muhammad except to be followed by the will of Allah. Okay, he should be followed. وَمَا فِيمَا أَمَرْ, whatever he has commanded you. Okay, so his command is wajib. Anything the Prophet commands us, we have to follow his command. Unless there's other narration says, hadith says otherwise. But every command of Rasulullah is command from Allah. So, ta'atu fima amar. Follow him, whatever he commands. وَتَصْدِيقُهُ فِيمَا أَخْبَرَ. And to believe everything that he has said. Okay? Everything that he says, we have to believe it. Nothing in the Quran, in the hadith. We mentioned this before. Like he talks about sign of the last hour. He talks about hadith about Allah, about the last day, punishment of the grave. These are akhbar. We have to knew these. We have to accept it from. We cannot deny them. So we have to believe what he has said. But if you don't believe, then you haven't taken him as a messenger. Okay, we have to believe everything that he said. وَإِجْتِنَابُ مَا نَهَى وَالزَّجْرِ. And we have to abandon everything that he has forbade. وَمَا آتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. Whatever he gives, take it. Whatever he forbids, you have to leave. Okay? So, basically, whatever he says is from the wahy of Allah Azza wa Jal. And Ibn al-Qayyim says that for the heart of the believers, to be steadfast, there are two things you need to have. The love of Allah. And you can't gain love of Allah until you follow Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Only way you can attain the love of Allah is through following the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And Allah put a condition. It's not just a claim, I love Rasulullah. But you don't follow his sunnah. How is the love? So none of us, no believer's heart will be steadfast, his qalb, steadfast and istiqama, mustaqima, until he put the love of Allah more than anything else. And this love of Allah will not come until you follow Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay? So, that's the first thing. And Ibn al-Qayyim says how easy to claim love of Allah and how difficult it is to put into practice. Okay? Wabil al-Sayyib, he talks about it. And the secondly is that ta'adhimu ma amar Allah wa ma naha anhu. Is to honor what Allah commands and what he forbade. Which means that honoring means that follow his command. Honoring the command of Allah and the Messenger is to follow the command of Allah and the Messenger. Follow his command. Least we can do is that follow the fara'id and leave the major sins. And honor the prohibitions. How do you honor the prohibition? Is to leave the prohibition. Leave Allah, what Allah made haram. Okay? Until we do that, a person's heart will not be steadfast. How can you be steadfast? You don't follow, you don't do the fara'id. How can your heart will be steadfast? Your heart does not honor his command and prohibition. You do the prohibitions. You fall into haram. There's no honor in that. Your heart will not be steadfast in that sense. So, whatever he forbade, we have to leave. This is from Allah Azza wa Jal. And we know hadith. مَا نَهَيْتُكُمْ عَنْهُ فَاشْتَنِبُوا. Whatever I forbade, leave. وَمَا أَمَرْتُمْ بِفَأْتُمْ مِنْ مَسْتَطَعْتُمْ. And whatever I have commanded you, do as much as you can. That's the third one. The fourth one is وَأَلَّا يُعْبَدْ إِلَّا بِمَا شَرَعَ. And that we should not worship except whatever he commands us. Okay? Whatever he commands us, the Sharia tells us to do. Okay? So we have to follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. We cannot worship Allah without following the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Hadith Irbad bin Sari radiallahu anhu, where Prophet said that عليكم بسنتي وسنة الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين تمسك بها وعضوا عليها بالنواجذ وإياكم محدثات أمور فإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وفي النار وكل ضلالة في النار. That upon you to follow my sunnah, a sunnah of the rightly guided khulafa, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, and hold on to my sunnah with the molar teeth. The molar is the stronger part of your deen, or part of your teeth. So hold on to it strongly, don't leave it. And owe to you warning here, tahdhir. وَإِيَّاكُمْ tahdhir, warning against any novelties in the deen. And he said every novelty is innovation, every innovation with misguidance. In another version said, every misguidance will lead you to the hellfire. This shows the holding on to the rope of Allah, rope of Allah and the rope of the Sunnah of the Prophet, Quran and the Sunnah. Okay, there's no any other way. So we have to worship Allah according to the Sunnah. Okay, so this shows us that we have to stick to the Sunnah of the Prophet, and the Hadith we know. Man ahdatha fi amrina hadha ma laysa minhu fahuwa rad, that whoever innovates anything in our matters, okay, doesn't belong to you, will be rejected. Okay, so another hadith we say we have to stick to the sunnah, not follow the bid'ah. Don't imitate the people of bid'ah. We have to be very careful with this. And in salah, in hajj, everything we have to do according to the sunnah of the Prophet. And he said, خُذُوا عَنِّي مَنَاسِكَكُمْ, take from me your the rites of the Hajj. So when you go to Hajj, we have to do according to the Sunnah of the Prophet. صَلُّوا كَمَا رَأَيْتُمُنِي أُصَلِّي, pray as you have seen me pray. Everything we have to do according to the guidance of the Prophet. That's what it means. وَأَلَّا يُعْبَدُ اللَّهِ or يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ إِلَّا بِمَا شَرَعَ, and Allah shouldn't be worshipped except what He has legislated. We cannot make up ibadah. طيب يا إخوان. So this is, we explain Shahada Muhammad Rasulullah, and this is the evidence, this is the basic understanding, this is the definition, inshallah. So try and memorize it. The next evidence is Dalil al-Salah wa-Zakah wa-Tafsir al-Tawheed qawluhu ta'ala. Evidence for prayer and zakat and the evidence for Tawheed. This is the ayat Surah Al-Bayyinah. وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين حنفاء ويقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة وذلك دين القيمة. This ayah is proof for all this. Allah said, وما أمروا, they are not commanded except to worship Allah alone sincerely. That's Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? So ikhlas. What is ikhlas? Is to worship Allah seeking the pleasure of Allah, being sincere, okay, doing action for sake of Allah without seeking the praise of any human being, only looking to seek the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. Alillahu dinul khalis, isn't the deen sincerely for Allah Azza wa Jal. So ikhlas is one of the conditions of ibadah to be accepted. So you have to be mukhlis in our ibadah. So this is Tawheed of Allah. Okay, the next Allah talks about Hunafa. Now, worshipping Allah in the deen, being Hunafa. Hunafa is plural of Hanif. Hanif is the one which taken from the word Hanaf. Hanaf means to slant away from shirk and go toward Tawheed. To slant away from shirk and go toward Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal. That's what Hunafa is, which is plural of Hanif. And that's what someone described to be Hanif. That's why Ibrahim a.s. was described to be Hanif. And Hanif Ibn Qayyim says that وَهُوَ مُقْبِلْ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَمُعْرِضْ عَمَّا سِوَاهُ. That هُوَ مُقْبِلْ إِلَى اللَّهِ means he goes towards Allah Azza wa Jal in worship, and he turns away anything that contradicts the Allah Azza wa Jal. He turns away. So he will not do anything that contradicts the Sharia of Allah Azza wa Jal. So he was sincere in what he did, Ibrahim alayhi salam. So Hunafa, so Allah telling us to worship Allah Azza wa Jal, being sincere, alone, not associating any partner with him. Then that's Tawheed of Allah. Okay? وَيُقِيمُ الصَّلَاةِ, and he says, establish the prayer. That's the evidence for the salah. وَيُؤْتُ الزَّكَاةِ, and to give zakat. وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ, and that is the straight deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. So it's to worship Allah sincerely, establish your prayer, give zakat. That's the straight part of our deen. Qayyimah, strongest part or straight part of the deen. Deen al-Qayyimah, yeah.
Strongest deen.
Yeah, Deen al-Qayyim, something Qayyim is strong, isn't it? Straight of our deen, this is it. To worship Allah alone, being sincere, being Hanif.
When you say Hanif means?
Hanif is, Hunafa is part of Hanif. Okay, and Hanif is taken from the word Hanaf, and which means to slant away. Linguistically, that's what it means. So when someone is Hanif, we mean he's slanting away from shirk, going toward Tawheed of Allah. That's why Ibrahim alayhi salam knows as Hanif. Now, that's the evidence for Salah, wa Zakat, wa Tawheed. Next is Dalil al-Siyam. Al-Siyam. والدليل الصيام قوله تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Now here, all those who believe, Ibn Mas'ud said radiallahu anhu, that when you hear the word يا أيها الذين آمنوا, pay attention to it, because whatever comes after, either Allah command you to do something or He's commanding you to leave something. So pay attention to that. Allah addressed many different ways. Ya ayyuhan nabi, ya bani Adam, ya ayyuhan nas. Understand? So here Allah is addressing specifically for the believers. So Ibn Mas'ud said, anything that comes could be command for you to do or command for you to leave. Here Allah is commanding. All those who believe, kutiba alaykum. Kutiba means furida alaykum. Okay? As-siyam. Allah has made fasting prescribed to you. That's the evidence. As He made it people before you, so you may attain the taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Now here, the ulama says that, we talk about the reason for as-siyam is to attain the taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And if someone fasts month of Ramadan, and he does bit of worship of Allah, but after Ramadan he goes back to normal again. Some ulama say his salah is not accepted, his siyam is not accepted. Okay? Because why? It did not work on him. The medicine didn't work. They use the qa'idah, as the Shaykh talks about this. He goes, ما أدى إلى الواجب فهو واجب. Whatever necessary for you to, whatever lead you to wajib, that becomes wajib, isn't it? Anything lead you to haram, that becomes haram. Anything that lead to mustahab, that becomes mustahab. It's like this. So having a taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jalla is wajib, isn't it? So fasting is made for you to get the taqwa. Okay? So if someone fasts month of Ramadan and month after Ramadan back to normal again, he doesn't pray, his siyam is not like it's not accepted, because لعلكم تتقون. لعل is sabab, harf sababiyya, because you will attain the taqwa. Now, if you don't attain the taqwa, then you haven't fulfilled, your siyam is not accepted, because siyam should lead you to attain the taqwa, and it did not. So the ulama says that could mean that siyam is not accepted by Allah Azza wa Jalla. Like same thing for Hajj. When you go to Hajj, you want Hajj to be accepted, Hajj Mabrur, you make Hajj and everything, but when you come back, there's no effect of Hajj. So sometimes the ulama says you can see on the action of the individual, okay, is it accepted, not accepted, okay? So purpose of as-siyam is to attain the taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jalla. It's not just leaving the food and drink. So here this ayah, kutiba alaykumus siyam, that's the evidence. Fasting has been prescribed to you. طيب. Okay, let's continue inshallah. Next is the evidence of al-hajj. Al-hajj. Allah said, وَالدَّلِيلُ الْحَجِّ قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى. Allah said, and the evidence for hajj is, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ عَنِ الْعَالَمِينَ. And hajj to the house of Allah is a duty upon every mankind. They owe to Allah. Those who can afford the expenses, and whoever disbelieves, then he is a disbeliever to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Who is and indeed Allah Azza wa Jalla is self-sufficient from the creation. This ayah is an evidence for Hajj. Now, Man istata' ilayhi sabila. Whoever is able to do that. This is a very important sentence. Okay? In the Tafsir of Baghawi, Qurtubi, they said that when this ayah was revealed, Sahaba says, Afi kulli sana ya Rasulullah. Is it every year? Prophet remains silent. Then he said, Afi kulli sana ya Rasulullah. He said, La qultu na'am, la wajabat. الحج مرة واحدة في السنة وإن زاد فهو تطوع. Then Rasulullah said, son, Hajj is once in your lifetime. If you do more, then this is nawafil, extra, no problem. So Hajj is wajib once in the lifetime. Now, continuing with that, the Mufassirun, they mentioned that when the ayah was revealed, they said, Ma was sabil ya Rasulullah? How do we go to Hajj? Then he said, zaduhu wa safaruhu. Yeah, rahilatuhu. Meaning that he need to have the provision and he need to have the strength of making the journey. So he need to have the money, okay, and he need to have the physical strength. So these are the two conditions of Hajj, okay. And if one of them is missing, then you don't do the Hajj. So if you got the money, but physically a person cannot make it. You know, a lot of people have money, but they may be disabled. They can't physically actually make the journey. It's difficult. Then he need to give the money to the person who has made the Hajj to go and make Hajj for him. Okay? So there was a man making Hajj. And he's making talbiyah. And he said, the person you're making talbiyah for, okay, have you done the Hajj? He goes, no. Person, go make Hajj for yourself, then make for the person. So that's the condition. You have to make Hajj for yourself, then for the person you can make it. So if the person don't have the money, but he physically can go, Hajj is no wajib on him. So Prophet said, Zadu, provision, wealth, and he can take the rihla, journey to Hajj. But it is hard. And I've seen people falling on the floor, 47, 50, 45 degrees, and you go, the sun comes out. Subhanallah, it's the oven here. So people have seen fainted on the floor, and they come with water and things like that. So someone old to make the Hajj, alhamdulillah, they can go. It's a wish for people to go make Hajj, but the consequences is there. The age limit. When you're old, it's hard. The journey is hard. Okay, so but it's kafara as well at the same time. So Allah made it say man istata'a. This istita'a, Hajj is wajib, but based upon istita'a, upon qudra. Okay, and this is the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal. That Prophet said that bu'ithtu wa ursiltu bihanafiyya samha. Have been sent with the religion of ease. Samha is ease. Okay, inna habba din Hanafiya Samha, the most beloved deen of Allah, is easy part of the deen. Okay, easy deen, yeah. So deen is made easy for us. Okay, so istita'a is one of the condition for the slave to perform act of obligatory duties. Any obligatory duty that you have to do in your life, upon istita'a, upon qudra. Actually, that's one of the condition of action which are wajib for you to do. Okay? If you are ajiz, if you cannot do it, then you don't do it. Okay? So one of the conditions is that he needs to have qudra. Prophet said that وَمَا أَمَرْتُهُمْ بِي فَأْتُوا مِنْهُ مَسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Whatever command you to do as much as you can. So istita'a is one of the conditions. So for example, month of Ramadan, we have to fast. But if you haven't got the qudra, if you haven't got istita'a, Allah didn't say fast. La. You don't fast. You are ill, don't fast. Make it up. Okay? If you are making a journey, even that, you don't have to make siyam. If you want to Ramadan, you are traveling, and you want to, rukhsa is the allowance is that, you don't fast. Khalas, you make it up later on. Okay? You have to pray standing up. Every fard salah, you have to pray standing up. You can't pray sitting down. But your leg is broken. Okay? Allah istita'a. I can't pray standing up, I'm going to pray sitting down. Okay? You in the for example, in the hospital, you're placed in such a way, you can't face the Qibla. Okay? You can't face the Qibla now. Okay? لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah burns what they can bear. And this, he can't change the direction. Qibla this way, but his leg is broken, he's facing that way. They can't change the bed. he prays the way he is. Okay? If a person, I'm just going to give an example, I'm going to be up now. Someone put in the hospital somewhere, he's naked. He can't put a clothes on, maybe he thinks that he might kill himself. So he's naked, he can't make wudu, he can't do nothing. Ibn Qudama talks about it in Mughni, in Umdatul Fiqh. Example, they're teaching us. What does fiqh say? He said, you pray the way you are. You pray the way you are. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah does not burden to more than you can bear. Okay? فاتقوا الله ما استطعتم. Fear Allah as much as you can. This is something you can't do about it. You have prayed without wudu, Allah will not ask you because he was in a place he couldn't make wudu. They won't give him water. What he's supposed to do? You pray the what you are you in. Allah will not judge you on that. Okay, this is the beauty of the deen. And the qa'idah is al-mashaqqa tajlibu taysir. Mashaqqa, burden, brings ease. That's the mashaqqa. And the ease is that you pray wherever you are. Okay, so istita'a is one of the conditions that we need for a person to establish the act of obligatory. If it's beyond his ability, he can't do it, then he can't fast. He can't pray standing up. Okay? He can't make wudu. If I make wudu, I'm going to become ill. I might die. There was a companion. He died. They gave fatwa. He said, no, you have to. He was injured. You have to make wudu. And he died. When Prophet heard it, he became very upset. You killed him, may Allah kill you. Like he was very upset. Can you imagine someone's life's gone? Someone died because of your fatwa was wrong. Why don't you ask? Can you imagine, akhi? So, istita'a, remember this. Every obligatory act is done upon istita'a, upon your qudra, ability. If you can't, you don't do it. You go to the next. So, if you can't make wudu, make tayammum. Yeah, replacement of it. So, Allah didn't say, just make hajj. But he said, ala istita'a. Faman istita'a. Whoever is able to do. And this istita'a, is to make the sabil, this path, is that you have to have the money and you have to have the physical strength. If you don't have these two, you don't make hajj. Okay? 11 grand a year. 11 grand per person. Hajj, yeah. Okay. So it's not, probably 70% of the people don't have to make hajj now. You can't afford it. Unless you planning for 10 years, maybe you can do it. You know? So it's not upon istita'a. It's too much. You know? So this is the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? So Allah made a condition of man istata'a ilayhi sabila, whoever is able to go to the hajj. And then the Prophet said, Allah said, وَمَنْ كَفَرَ. This kufr here means that, Shaykh al-Albani, the ulama says, it is kufr amaliyya. Meaning that you've got the money, okay, physically you can go to hajj, you're not going it. That's kufr. You use the money to go to holiday. Okay, you spend all this money to go to holiday. A'udhu billah. Akhi, make the hajj, get it out of your shoulder. Then Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah will say, I gave you the money, you need to go to Dubai. You need to go to Dubai and enjoy your life, but you didn't go to hajj. You don't want Allah to say that. Once you finish your hajj, once your lifetime, the khalas. If you don't go hajj anymore, you won't be asked about it. Okay? So, that's kufr. Because you had the money, you had the physical strength to go make hajj, and you didn't make the hajj. Some of the salaf says, if you die upon that, you die as a kafir. Subhanallah. So now I'm young, I've got the money, I can make hajj, but I'll leave it for the next few years. You might die. Subhanallah. Allah don't ask you, why didn't you go to Dubai? You know, Allah don't ask you about why didn't you go Bangladesh or Pakistan or whatever. Allah will ask you, you didn't make the hajj, you had the money. Subhanallah. So a lot of people make this mistake, they leave it too late, but it's serious. So man is istita'a, qudra. Okay? When is the Isha?
15.
8 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to give... is that okay? Yeah? It's clear? We'll leave it now for next. I'm going to take the Q&A. So I don't want to... Okay,
Shaykh, you mentioned about something that Prophet said that I am from the nikah. So what does it mean?
I am from nikah mean my mom and dad got married and my mother gave me birth. They got married. ولست من سفاح. mean, it's not that my mom and dad committed adultery, then my mom gave me birth. La. They got married and then she gave me birth. That's what it means. So basically, Haadi saying it is from noble. His parents got married, then his mom gave him birth. Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah.
Shaykh, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Basically, if a person is fasting and he travels, how long does the journey have to be for his travel?
Like for example, if you're going from here to Birmingham, yeah,
Yeah.
he says, "Anta musafir, you're a musafir." Okay, because you left the land. You make qasr, you can shorten your prayer and combine it. But going to Birmingham, sitting in a car, it's not really difficult, is it? But the point is, rukhsa, you're taking the permissibility, the allowance. And Hadith said that, Inna Allah yuhibbu an yukhadha rukhsa. That Allah loves when slave takes rukhsa, the allowance Allah giving you, the barakah, accept it. You know? So I'm not going to fast, because I'm going to Birmingham. And because Sharia allows me to do that. It's ease for me. Inna deena yusr. Hadith, inna deen yusr. Deen is easy. You can take the path, or you can say, I'm going to continue the fast, break my fast in Birmingham. You can do that as well. Either way, nothing wrong with that. But scholars have said, if a journey makes you tired and makes you ill, and you have to eat, then it's haram on you to fast. Understand?
Sheikh, what if someone does that purposely? So if someone travels purposely thinking that he's allowed to break his fast, is he sinful for doing that, for having the wrong intentions?
That's long.
That's I mean, it's a good question. I never come across people who will do that. Journey is easy. It's difficult. Because the hadith said that inna safar qit'atu min adab yamnauka min an-nawm wal akl. Hadith said that Shaykh Yahya wrote a whole book on safar and what you can do in safar, what you can't do in safar. And it's one of the things he said, being the hadith said, indeed journey is a punishment in a sense, it stops you from sleeping and eating. So nobody make a journey like this. But yeah. Okay, إخوة خلاص يكتفي بهذا القدر. You just come in. Now we start. We're not going to start straight after Maghrib because Maghrib is too close. So I'm going to pray Maghrib at home and then I'm going to come here. Okay, 7 o'clock inshallah, yeah? Okay, inshallah. Yeah.
How you're talking about the hospital, and they still have to pray, and like obviously they have to do as much as they can. So that kind of example is only for Salah, isn't it? Because Salah is like the most important.